Bagfuel, baby.
I liked girls and women at a very, very young age.
At least Lisa was one of them things.
Lisa, I had the biggest crush on her. Jesus Christ.
Her and Pebbles and fucking Lisa. Lisa was my two.
Pebbles was amazing. Lisa, to me, she was it. And
the first J-Lo.
And she's still so beautiful, man. I was at a Snoop Dogg concert at not Irving Plaza. It was in Manhattan.
Hammerstein?
Not Hammerstein. The one over on 20-something Street. I can't remember the name. Gramercy. Please forgive. My cousin Tommy was working at Gramercy for a long time. Please forgive me, Tommy. Gramercy, Snoop had a concert there, and for some reason, my aunt is 86 years old, and this was only a couple of years ago. This is right before the pandemic. She's such a big fan of Snoop. We had to take her downstairs to get the autograph from Snoop. Snoop is my man. He always cool. But while we was waiting for Snoop, I wound up in the dressing room. It was me, my aunt, Lisa and her people, and Peter Guns. It was just like a real random thing. And, you know, I told her, I was like, I've been a fan of yours since I was little. My first concert that I ever really remember going to was Lisa and Colt Jam, Full Force, Rappin' Duke. Remember Rappin' Duke, I know y'all remember. I'm saying the people that's watching this, Rappin' Duke, you know, and I don't think a lot of the younger cats caught the line with know what Biggie was saying when he said it.
Rappin' Duke, the ha, you never thought that hip hop would make it this far.
And the headliners was New Edition. And they had just kicked Bobby Brown out the group. Because that was the whole big thing. Like, my mother told me that Bobby Brown was out the group. She's like, you know the guy's out the group.
You didn't believe it?
Well, I mean, you know, I believed it, but she was just telling me all type of stuff. She was like, I heard he was on drugs. I heard he was doing this. Because, you know, it was rumors back then.
We didn't have social media.
We didn't have no social media.
You had magazine rumors, what you heard on the radio. You had Wendy Williams exposing.
All of that.
You didn't have a lot of, you didn't know nothing. Like, it was a secret society.
Yeah.
So, did you think that you was going to make money off of this shit? Where did the money come from? When did that start to occur?
Nah, I knew it. I went to shout out to all of the HBCUs, all of the historically black colleges. I went to Norfolk State.
I went to Morgan State.
Oh, there we go.
I did some dirt in Norfolk State. Yo.
Oh yeah, Norfolk State was wild.
I did with the green end.
Yes.
Yeah, I did some dirt.
Norfolk
VSU. I did dirt out there. I did that whole college scene.
Yeah, VA was wild, man. VA is always a beautiful place. I still got family down there. I still go down there. I love it. But it's funny because we moved from Queens to Virginia in the early 90s.
What was that about? I know you're gonna tell you a story because my parents did the same thing. They moved from Queens and they moved to Chesapeake, Virginia.
Okay.
But I didn't go. They let me stay home for my last year and a half. But everybody from Queens was moving out to VA. I think VA was the first Miami to me.
It's a property because at that time people were like, "Yo, you can get a lot for a little bit."
Yeah, it was the rent was lower, the mortgage was, everything was lower. All the prices with everything was lower. Even just going to McDonald's, you know, you might get a quarter pounder with cheese for $1.50 here. You get it for $1 down there. You know, like the cost of living was just less expensive. And my mother, she was under the delusion that Virginia was gonna be
nicer. The hood wasn't there.
It wasn't.
And then she didn't know Newport News was right around the corner.
And we moved in Newport News, so we was right there. But we was in Denby. We wasn't downtown Bad News. Okay. But it was crazy because when we moved to Virginia. And, you know, my mother, she did an excellent job of raising me and my brother Ari. You know, she's a fantastic parent, but she just was naive to what was going on in the street. You know, it was, because when I moved down there, that was the height of crack. And it was,
was living out there.
It was the height of drugs for guns.
Teddy Riley was out there.
So VA had the guns. New York had the coke. and it was a lot of exchanging.
Bartering.
Yeah, it was a lot of bartering.
New York and VA was close. It was a lot of New York dudes.
A lot of New York.
Teddy Riley relocated to VA and
Teddy
had
Riley.
all of New York out
Hope
there.
was living out there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
VA was the first Miami. I'm telling you, that was the first beach. Everybody was down there for the 4th of July. Everybody was out there for Labor Day. That's where all the colleges went. We all went to fucking
Black
Virginia
College
Beach.
Weekend,
You
all
went
of
to
that.
King's Dominion.
That was it.
Yeah, that's
It
where all
was
the black
wild.
colleges meet. You met girls because Morgan State was down there with VSU, with Norfolk
100%.
State.
VSU
Everybody,
was
we was all flooded down.
It was
Black
amazing.
College Weekend, bro.
It was amazing, man.
It was amazing. It was like nothing you've ever seen.
But what's so crazy is that I came into contact with more guns, cocaine. I mean, I was never doing it. I ain't gonna get on here in front like I was dealing drugs and none of that. I wasn't into none of that. But a lot of my friends was. You know what I'm saying? I even have family members that was
Getting into it.
They was getting into it, and it was crazy because it would be one day I have a friend over the house, we just chilling, watching TV, playing Sega Genesis. Next day, my mother's like, "Oh my God, he's on the news. He murdered the pizza man." And there's people I went to high school with. Because I went to high school before I went to college down there. So
you had a year down there?
I had 2 years of high school. She moved me down junior. I went to August Martin. Shout out to August Martin in Queens.
That's a
That was that. They wild, they wild. And then I went to Denby High School for my last 2 years, and then I went to Norfolk State. But it was crazy. There's a few cats out that I went to high school with, been in jail for murder and all type of stuff. Like my whole career, like they ain't been outside my whole career. Like I'm 25 in.
I mean, they catch bodies out there. Like and it's a Commonwealth state.
But
the music scene, was the music scene prevalent out there at that time, like in New York though?
Well, nah, it wasn't prevalent like that, but it was. When I moved down there, that was like the incubation period for like all of them was coming up at the time. I didn't know them, but Timberland, Missy, Pharrell, Jodeci was still hot, but it would be like a couple of years later that Devontae would move down the VA and grab up Genuine and Missy and Timberland and have all of them.
That's small.
You know what I'm saying?
Produced.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it usually happens.
Yeah.
Though. Like when
Teddy Riley was on fire though, because when I moved to VA, I think it was '92. Rump Shaker just came out.
Oh Lord.
Teddy, I remember it was a little bit of controversy. I ain't care because the video was crazy, but I remember on the radio they was mad at Teddy Riley because they said that the women in Rump Shaker was flown in from Cali.
Oh.
But I didn't care. I was recording that video and watching it over and over. The women was amazing.
Cali. What the fuck does that mean? Who cares? Oh, they wanted him to be from VA.
VA women. They wanted VA women. But ain't nobody really thinking about that. But the song was amazing. That whole period, '92, Mary J just came out. I remember we driving around the Mary J. We driving around the Redman. What the album. And again, hip hop kind of like calmed my nerves, man, because I was just so anti moving down to Virginia. Like I was like, yo, I do not want to move to Virginia. Like we was, I was like, that's the country. I was under the because I would go down to VA or whatever and have a good time with my cousins and stuff during the summer, but I'm in New York. I didn't want to live there, but when I got down there and I just saw the freedom that the kids was having, man. Like, is the kids back then? You talk about 6 years old on a cash register. I can't even imagine a 6-year-old kid on a cash register now. So we grew up a lot faster back in the days, but we just had a lot of freedom. That was like. We was going to the parties and like I said, a lot of kids was getting money, driving around in Benzes and stuff like that.